history of this property.
Okay.
I'll wait for Holly to catch up. Okay, so when I moved here 30 years ago, this place was kind of limited usage. If you knew the guy who owned it and had the combination to the locks, you could ride in here. Before I came here for a number of years, when a guy named Ferber owned it. It used to be called Ferber Ranch, and he was actually from Newport, Holly. He owned a bunch of car dealerships, and he had this land. In his vision, there's about 1,000 acres total was the ranch. So on this side of Rose Canyon Road and also on that side of Rose Canyon, about 500 acres on each side. Ferber had a vision of building homes and a golf course here at one time. But in 1994, a thing called the Foothill Trabuco Specific Plan was passed, which put all sorts of environmental regulations on development in the whole greater Trabuco Canyon area. Not just this 1,000 acres, but everywhere through the canyon. Made it very difficult. To give you an idea, since then, 1994, there have only been 11 permits issued for building.
Wow.
And I'm one of them. I built my house in 1996. And since then, there's been very little development at all. The new development that's going in a little past Cook's Corner, there's a new development there called Saddle Crest, and they had to bend the rules of the Trabuco Specific Plan to be able to get in there. But the county, wanted to build more homes, so they granted those permissions. But anyway, so Ferber, when he decided that, or when he learned that he wasn't going to be able to do this development that he had in mind easily, he divvied up the land to his kids, and they each got a third. The problem was, it was not divided up precisely at all. It was just, you have a third, you have a third, you have a third.
Made for fun.
One of the kids put up his third as collateral for a loan that he wanted. And then he went bad on the loan. So the bank now owned 1/3 of it, but it wasn't defined as to which 1/3. So a guy came along named Howard Baker and his wife, and they bought from the bank for pennies on a dollar a third of this land. But since it was never divided, he just staked claim to the third that he wanted. So I'll kind of show you where his third was. It was on the other side of Rose Canyon Road, and then all in here to my left. But the other two weren't doing anything with the property, so Howard just came through and created trails through the whole 1,000 acres. And, if you were a local here and you knew him and you had the combination to the gate, you could ride these 1,000 acres whenever you wanted. A few years later, Howard, maybe 10 years, Howard kind of ran into some things where he was wanting to build up in Tahoe. He built a big ranch up there. And anyway, so he sold to another guy, to two brothers, and their name escapes me now, Bruce and David. But anyway, he sold to them, and they had it for many years. And then, I don't know if you know, has anybody ever heard of Measure M?
No.
Okay, so Measure M is a thing that we voted on like 30 years ago, which what it did was it gave Orange County Transportation Authority, who owns this property now, the right to build in areas that may be environmentally sensitive or whatever, but if the roads were needed, they could build, but they had to buy other land and dedicate it as an open preserve to the people of Orange. So that's how this land got purchased by OCTA. They were building, I can't even remember what road it was, but it was some highway that they needed to mitigate. It's called mitigation. So they had to mitigate their development by buying land and set it up as a preserve. So the good news is this land will never be developed. It's a preserve into perpetuity. The bad news is the locals, us, we can't ride it anymore like we used to openly. It's locked up all the time except for this day every 2 months that we have a few docents that are part of Saddleback Canyon Riders, that's who I belong to, and we lead rides through here once every 2 months.
Yes, we're back. That was just a short one today.
Ladies, nice to meet you.
You too.
Bye. Nice
Thanks.
talking to you.
Thanks for the tour. All right. Yeah.
So Holly was telling me about a really good place for our first camping trip.
Okay.
Like a beginner-friendly horse camping place.
Called?
Casper. I said it out loud, so I have it on camera. Casper something.
All right.
Oh, quit! Jesus! Quit!
It's that uphill excitement.
I don't know what he's doing.
What's wrong, buddy?
It's because
Here you go.
can I get in front of you?
Yep.
He's
Go for
really
it.
mad about Nash right now.
Oh,
He just
not
wants to
me.
use him. He's right there.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
No worries.
He almost just jumped off the hill.
Downhill, huh? A downhill pee. That's super fun. Scarlet.
He just got his legs long. Now he's ready to go for a ride.